Hello everyone. Just 1 second. 20. Henna. Hello everyone. Glad to see you here. So my name is Tatiana and this is round 5 of Henna Marathon, and today I will show you my technique of shading and hatching. I will try to show it in details and in time. Hope it will be enough and even more. So thank you. Thank you. Gungru earrings. It's like real gungru. It's even have sound. So just little setting, and we will start. And привет. Can't publish the comment. So, okay. 1 second. And tell me sound is fine, like everybody can hear me. Aloha. Привет, Аси. So, we will start from hatching. I will show you different ways to make hatch in henna designs, and like for what actually we are using these techniques: shading, hatching, etc. It's helping us to make a volume 3D effect in our henna design. Not only this technique is doing this, but one of the way and very how to say impressive way to make this 3D effect. This is using hatching and shading. So I will try to show all ways, all techniques, everything, how I'm doing it, how I'm combining it, and how we can use it in designs and how better to use it in our designs. First of all, I will show, so I hope you print out these sheets. If not, you can go to Henna Artist of World Unite, and there is a link which you can open and download these sheets and use it in your practice. If you don't have these sheets right now, doesn't matter, you can use plain piece of paper. So let's start from that thing, what better avoid, like what better to not use, and how our shadings, how our hatching should not to be looked like. This is what this first example. So how it can happen. This is the easiest way of hatching, when you just put some henna, and after this, just this part of your cone, just like stretching henna up, and that's all. It's very fast, very easy, but not beautiful and delicate. Why better to avoid these things, because how you can see in this first example, this is area became very heavy, and our flower, or doesn't matter which kind of element it can be, not only flowers, not only in flowers we are doing this. So very heavy things coming here, very tight, very dark, and this kind of shading is making our element very heavy. And second thing, our element right now, this is a flower, like start like hiding behind this thing, like very aggressive, and very much henna is here. So better to not use this technique for making volume, because actually volume will not be there. And try another our hatching and shading, do not make like this, not very heavy, not very dirty, to not make mess. It should be delicate, careful, and very light actually. So second one, so I called it, maybe somebody already knows that I call this kind of hatching like lazy hatching, when you don't want to spend much time for these things and need just to fill up the form, and you are doing just like this, put henna and make it straight. That's all. It's very fast, yes, but still a lot of dirty coming there. And next kind of hedge, this is classical hedge, which a lot of artists are using in their designs, and I think you all using this. When I will try to make it like little from the side that you can see this classical hatching, like you take your cone, put it in angle, and make tiny line, and this line going like from thick place to thin place, and disappear. Our henna cone in angle, like it's little like tilde, how you are usually drawing. So the same thing is happening here. And the main thing when you are making this kind of hatching, all lines, you can say, go in parallel, not from one dot. How I also can see, like when we are making this hatching, we are not making only from one dot, and in all sides it's going like this. We are making it like from the same level of space, but parallel. It's nearby. It's not going Christ like this. It's not crossing each other, because again some mess happening. So each line should be like separate from another lines. You can see this line like this. And this hatching can be used also in everywhere. We can use it inside of elements. We can use it outside of elements. like this, going down like around. Doesn't matter where you are using it, just try to make these lines separate from each other. One more time we will see. And again I'm repeating that this hatching shouldn't look like this. Try to avoid this mess. Lines can be more light, lines can be like more thick and have more space, but in any case they're going separate from others. So like this, you can see this is the same hatching, but here like I make it more bold and more space, like in this part. Here it's like more tight, lines coming more tight and more tiny, and effect little have little difference. So for practice you can use it in both ways. In one way also, so I started from tiny lines and go for more like bold lines and with more space between, and actually it looks also nice even in one element using it, going from tight lines and going for more space. And new trick came. So new combination. You can use this hatching like in the same time. It's also very nice and looking very nice, like from more darker place for more light place. Okay, try like this. Third one. First was this. This is second. Third one, type of hatching. I use it not very often, sometimes, but also has a nice result. This hatching, you can say this is like blurry hatching, when the lines is not so clear, and it's closer, if like result is look more close to shading with water than like lines. Нет, Ромочка, извини, по-русски не будет, к сожалению, но ты и так все это знаешь. So we'll try how this blurry hatching looks like. If we make this hatching like you take our cone like tilt, like here's our hand, something else, and our cone going like, you can say again, like parallel to this place where we are drawing. So for blurring hatching, we put our cone like 90 degrees to our place where we are drawing. And second thing, this line we are drawing, we push henna all the time, but in blur hatch we are making one dot, and this dot we are like scratching this. And in results we can see like very light hatch. So we'll try to put it here in our petal, our cone. Little pressure that some small part of henna went out. Where is? Okay. Put this dot here and stretch this dot, and also like going parallel, line by line. We are not making pressure on our cones on our cone all the time. We just take out some henna in the beginning. That's all. Put our cone here and stretch this henna what we pushed out. And when we are doing this kind of hatching, so it shouldn't look like this classical hatching, and classical hatching shouldn't look like this blurry hatching. It's like separate. If you are drawing, making this thing and the lines is going like this, so again some kind of mess will be there. So we are trying just like put some color, you can say. It's like even more coloring. If it's not enough, you can come back and put more these kind of lines. And also on paper make this shading, hatching. It's more difficult than do it on skin. It's you will practice on paper, then when you will start do it on skin, it's much more easier. So like this you can see the difference again between even lights, classical hatching, and this blur hatching. This is like more soft color is coming, and how I told it, like already going closer to shading. And on examples you can see here again. This is number 3. This is first number. We are not doing like this, no. This is dot. Second one, classical. And third one, blur hatching. And we can combine this second and third one, and it will be looking like this. How to do it? First thing, we will make this third type of hatching because it's light, it's soft, so, and it should be like, we should put it like more tight. That's why this thing going first. I will not repeat, I will show you here because it will take some time, so better I will tell you something more. So we already put this hatching, and we put hatching in all our elements. In the beginning it's already get dry, and then we can put some few classical hatching. How to do it? First thing, we already have the base of this blur hatching. So if you want to put this kind of hatching also, don't put it much, just few lines, that's all. Few clear lines, will make your petal looks like much more volumized, deeper, and like natural. And also, how you can see, I use like different, to say, size of these lines. Something is shorter, something is longer. This is also makes like this natural effect of our flower. This is our result. I will repeat one more time this kind of hatching because it's like little tricky. So we take our cone. I will try to make it closer. It's going like this. When you put henna cone on the paper, you put like and cover this hole from where henna is going. So like this. It shouldn't be open. It should be closed. But before this, we push out some henna, little bit torsa. And stretching. First one, okay, I will repeat. And the this life I will save so you can see it again. Again, little pressure, henna is going out, little bit, put it and stretch. Put some henna and stretch. Put some henna and stretch. So like this. When we are stretching, we are not put. Спасибо, черкашки. When we are stretching, we are not giving pressure on our cone. We don't need more henna. We need henna only in the beginning, where dot this dot, and then this dot we are just stretching like this. First one is with open hole. We put henna cone like in angle and make the lines. Just 1 second, it's gone stuck. And here we're giving pressure almost all the time, but very light pressure on our cone and making clear lines. Nothing is blurred, everything is clear, like this. So this is all hatching, which we are using in Henna designs, and this is combination of this hatching number 2 and number 3. Number 1, don't use it, please. I just showed it like how it shouldn't be, and how these things like on example should not look like this. So let's go forward. What is the next one? This is shading. So shading has shading techniques have, like, I'm making it into two types. Shading for round shapes and shading for like narrow space, very tight space. Again, you can download these things. So round shapes, like big shapes, actually not only round shapes, like round, again round shapes. This is our petals, some big free space. For this kind of space we are using one technique of shading with water, and for this kind of space, like which is like more tight, like long and not so big, so we are using another kind of type of shading. Result is the same, but for big space easier to use one technique, for this tight space easier to use another technique. So we will try how to do it. Again, I will show you on petals, and first thing on the example again I will show you. So this is like in round space our shading. Sorry for black and white printing, I don't have colorful. And this like shading in long and tight space. So we will try. For this we need brush or this kind of cotton sticks and little bit water. And in petals, how we are doing? First thing, I'm always put the border for my shading. These borders, like where shading is not going out. Then for first technique of the shading, like for big and round space, what we are doing, it's actually easy. We just put some henna on the place where it should be more dark. So there we put henna, and how you can see, I put it like on the line and not giving any free space. Then we will take brush or cotton stick, put some water, and with little touch we are putting this water on our henna. It's getting like more soft, and then we again very delicate and careful, trying to stretch it out. So we are stretching it careful as much as we can, and make this this line more soft and more invisible, you can say. This like put more gradient there. Again, I will repeat, on paper it's much more difficult than make it on skin. On the skin, henna is more flexible, and it's easier actually work on skin with the shading than on paper. Then what we are doing, we just cleaning our stick, and here on this border we just put more water like this. Again cleaning, and again already much more clear water we will put here. And our last step, turning our cotton stick. Here it's dry, and with this dry part we are taking extra water, and this is actually very important step, because if we will not do this step, we will not take extra water. When it will dry, we can see the shape where water dried, and this shape will be there, but we need very soft gradient. That's why we are taking out some extra water. If you are using watercolors, you're drawing with watercolors, you can say this is like same way, same technique, how you are working with the colors. So like this, and here I can see, like, for me it's very big difference between this part, dark part, and middle part. So I will try to make it not so contrast. I again will try to take out more color. Somebody prefer to use brushes, but I'm very fine with this cotton sticks, because I can make any kind of shape with this thing. I can use it like in very small spaces, I can use it in big spaces, and dry part every time is here. You just, this is with the water, you just need to turn it and take out, with dry part, take out some extra water. We'll try again. We'll try then it's this thing in much more bigger space. Where is it? Here. Same thing, round or square, doesn't matter. We just put some henna on that part where it should be, looks more darker. You need to decide from which side light is coming. So here my light will come from down. So this will be the lightest part, will be the darkest part. First thing, straight on henna we are putting the water, and give это потому что я не очень по-английски говорю, поэтому использую как можно больше простых слов. Just put some water on the henna, give some time to make it like mixed, and then starting stretching. If we need, we will take much more water, but on the skin we don't need this much water, because it's going mixed very fast and easier. But here it's paper, and paper also soak and take much more water inside. I will take new cotton stick. And stretching careful. only on the border put some more water. Water we need sometimes to change. Палочку, когда мы рисуем на коже, мочить не сильно. Но вот на данный момент, чтобы понять, как это дело все работает, палочку мы мочим достаточно прилично так. Потому что бумага очень много впитывает жидкости, и нам сложно вытянуть эту хну, и нам сложно это сделать быстро. Вот, а на коже это куда быстрее происходит. Again, with the dry part of our stick, take out extra water. You can see the difference. Here, no any border. Here you can see the border of water and dry part. So we are taking out this extra water. Technique looks like this. I will not fill full round. I make it too big. We are usually not using so much big spaces for our shading, but I can just put more. And in this technique also, what I want to say, what I'm saying in Russian, I just saying the same things which I was saying in English, because some my students, some my subscribers don't understand English, so just some details they are asking. The main thing in this shading technique, in all shading techniques, that this here in any space where we are using shading should be the most darkest place and the most lightest space. The darkest place where we put henna very tight. The lightest space where we are not using henna at all. This is free, not touchable place. No henna is there. So after this we getting gradient from darkest to the light. And only with this full spectrum of shading from darkest to the lightest, this thing making 3D effect. If we will put henna from darkest till middle tone and little more light middle tone, and not leave even some small free space from henna, it will be already looks not so volumized, how it should be, how it can be. So like this, in big space, for each that thing should be there. In much more smaller places, also this how to say, the lightest place should be there. And on all my examples, you can go to my page and see where is shading is there. So every time some free space from shading is there. It for sure should be the clean place where we are not put any henna. Then this gradient works how we need. So like this. And in how to say, line by line I can show you. So we have this petal and I'm putting gradient. Here the most darkest place. Here little light place. So we just like, then again more light, and this last part free, clean place. That's all. So you can say, I don't know how to say in English, one part from 3 parts. We are not using henna at all. It should be clean. Then in this way we are getting full gradient from darkest to the lightest, and it's working how it should work. Let's go forward. Shading in this kind of shapes. The same thing, it will be work like same thing from the darkest place till the lightest. And how this technique looks. Actually, it's more easier. First thing, you are just putting hatching, then water. That's all. Not much work. We are just making some hatching. Here, with hatching, we shouldn't be very careful. It doesn't matter how much it's careful, but not from different place we start our lines. We start from the border. All our lines starting from the border, and making as long as much we need. So we put enough hatching. We will take water. We will take cotton stick. Make it how to make it. No, вы поняли. So you understand, I think, what we are making. And here what we need. Just put water on the henna. Put here, here, here. From the darkest place to the lightest place. Going with water, going little out from our hatching where it's end. We are going little out, and then we're just waiting. And the henna is going like mixed, and the gradient comes out. Actually, really, you don't need to do extra movements here. Henna will go mixed and soft, and gradient will go by themselves. Just need to put this hatching and put water. That's all. Then it's working by themselves. And again, turning our cotton stick and take out extra water. With paper it's much more difficult to work. You also can see on my YouTube channel I using this technique. So we can help some places where it's not mixing. We just can little help and mix henna with water. And that's enough. Like this. And again, how you can see the darkest place, the lightest place is there. No henna is here, and we have all gradient from the darkest to the lightest, like one part, one part, one part. Same part. The same kind of technique we are using here. And also in my designs you could recognize and see how I'm doing it, like in these shapes. From one side we are making hedge, even like you can even like little like go like this, mixed it by cone. Then from another side we are making hedging. We'll take our water and put water to the henna. In one part, a little more. And in another part. Just put henna. Here you can see I use like much water, but again when you will do on the skin this thing, we don't need so much water, because when you put henna on the skin, our skin like already quite warm, like 36 degrees, yes, like normal temperature of the body, like in Celsius. So, and henna already coming like melt on our body. On the paper it's like saving this shape, but on the body this like taking out extra water. On our bodies it's melting, and this thing mixing thing happening much more faster with less water. And full these things you can feel like this with the shading from another side and from different side, and it looks like very nice. Like this water is coming, so I'm taking out this. So this is second type of using type of technique to do the shading. In some parts, in some shapes, this is more comfortable. In big free shapes, first technique is more comfortable to use. But in results, it's almost the same. Then, where is my this list? We again can mix and combine hatching and shading. We have shading, we have hatching. We again can combine this thing. Where is my henna cone? I lost it. Okay, I found it. So again, we put some shading and decide to put some hatching also. So we can mix it in one place, in one element, in one space. Hatching, shading already here. So again, we just put some few lines of hatching to make it more volumized and deeper, like this. Ta-da! So this is how we can combine. A lot of questions was about also external shading. External shading. What is this? Here you can see inside of our elements I used hatching. Outside the elements between them I used this shading. Here and here. See, with this shading, this is all henna. I will try to show you. We have, for example, pencil. I don't have pencil, so sorry, and it's like difficult to show. Actually, hatching and shading with henna cone and hatching and shading with pencil, this is completely different things. It's not working in the same way at all. So that's why there is no any sense to show this shading and hatching techniques with pencil, because it's not possible. We are not, how to say, completely different technique with hatching with pencil and hatching with henna cone. It like I can with pencil I can repeat only this hatch. That's all. This hatch it's not possible. Shading not possible. So I can't show with pencil. Take some our element, and we are drawing. Decide to use our shading and put some shadows. Not where we are usually put it, like inside of elements, but we decide to put it outside. How to do it? Here working second technique of our shading. We are put some hatching first and going out with this hatching. Little. Not actually hatching, you can say just put some henna in a tight place, go little out with more light, and then again taking water. We'll take water and brush or cotton sticks, put this water in our henna and taking like stretching out till some place which we like. Put water and stretched out. Little outside the flower, and again extra water we are collecting with the dry part of sticks or dry brush, like this. 5 minutes, we have only 5 minutes, so I will be fast. Put henna, stretch some henna, put water, stretch our water with the stick and mixing henna, and take extra water with dry part. So this shading we are getting the same technique, but because we are using this shading outside of our main element, it looks like more unusual but more natural. And the thing is, before I will cut my live session with this external shading, that when you're using this shading and hatching in your designs, don't use it much. If you are using shading inside the elements, don't use again the shading outside the elements. Here we put shading inside, we no need shading anymore. We can put little hatch, or second thing, we can leave it even free, like negative space. In both ways it will be looks much more better if we would use the shading outside and inside. It will come plain, like plain and same. So when you're using shading and hatching in the same time, use it in different places. Don't mix hatching here, and don't use shading inside and shading outside in the same time. Choose where you want to use shading. Then in another place, nearby place, you will not to use shading. That's all what I wanted to say. So I hope this live was very informative for you. I will save it so you can watch it again. Actually, I showed technically everything, but some theory little gone, because about this matching, combining and using it in designs, it can be like a little longer conversation, but still hope you not everything in the same time. So next time we will talk about this. So thank you very much. Thank you. Bye bye to everyone.